The gunman behind the shooting yesterday may have been targeting the National Football League, but ended up on the wrong floor after taking the wrong elevator. Adams said that the shooter blamed the NFL and chronic traumatic I'm going to mess up the word here, but it's CTE for his mental state, that he was frustrated by never being able to play in the league. Adams said police were still going through the suicide note and seeing exactly kind of what happened there. The shooter is a 27-year-old from Las Vegas, according to Mayor Eric Adams, Shane Tamura. And he brought in that AR-15 into the building right before opening fire. He killed 4 people, including 3 civilians and an NYPD officer, and critically injured a 5th person believed to be an NFL employee. Now, we are hearing Mayor Eric Adams. He has now ordered this morning for all flags to be at half-staff. Governor Kathy Hochul also ordering flags to be at half-staff today for state buildings. And Governor Kathy Hochul was not here in the city yesterday. She did have an event this morning that I believe she canceled. We're waiting to see if she does anything today. Mayor Eric Adams and the police commissioner, Jessica Tisch, they were outside yesterday, and they obviously responded very quickly to the scene. They held a press conference last night detailing all of the incident and the details. Now, we are, yes. Oh, amazing. Our reporter Lisa Evers, she is here now. Thank you so much, Lisa, for joining us to just help explain exactly what you know right now.
Morgan, the office building here at 345 Park Avenue where this tragedy unfolded is completely closed to the public now and any occupants. That's because NYPD detectives as well as other investigators are combing through what has become a gigantic crime scene as they search for answers. And also the search is on for answers about why somebody would do what this mass shooter allegedly did. Now take a look at the building right here at Park Avenue. It has been home to the NFL, which has issued a statement about the shooting. It is also home to other top organizations like the like the Blackstone Financial Group. Now, Mayor Adams says 27-year-old Shane Tamura left a suicide note in the BMW he drove from Las Vegas to New York. Police say that vehicle carried his M4 semi-automatic rifle and a handgun, along with extra ammo, magazines, and bullets. The mayor says in the note he complained about a brain injury from playing football when he was younger. Now, the mass shooter, according to the mayor, was apparently looking for the NFL offices, which are inside this location, but took the wrong elevator. Tamura walked into the building casually, as you've seen in many of the photos that are out, carrying the long gun by his side. Once inside, he fired at an off-duty NYPD officer who was working building security and heroically tried to stop him and ended up paying with his life. He then went on to shoot and kill a total of 4 people before turning the gun on himself. Now here's Mayor Adams.
So thank you so much for that update. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for being out there, and thank you so much for giving us all the details. She's going to be able to give us more details today at noon, so you're definitely going to want to stay around and hear exactly more of some of these details leading up to the shooting and of the shooting itself. So thank you so much, Lisa. We'll be checking back very soon. Now, we also want to check in with our reporter, Richard Giacovis, who has some more details. Oh, I'm being told that he actually is in the middle of getting and gathering some more details for our story, for our noon show. And he's going to have the latest details when it comes to some of these victims and some of these people that were killed tragically yesterday, including the NYPD officer who had a family. I'm going to get more details exactly here. He had his wife was pregnant. I'm going to get more details here. I just want to make sure that I am saying everything correctly. Let's see. So the NYPD officer, he was a husband, father, his 36 years old, and he was a 3.5-year veteran with the NYPD. I know his wife was pregnant, and I believe they have 2 kids. Just horrendous, and our prayers and thoughts are with his family. We also, what we know right now about the gunman, Shane Tamara, he drove across the country with an assault rifle. He shot 5 people. And according to NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch, he drove from Nevada to New York City and entered New York the day of the shooting. Jessica Tisch, the NYPD commissioner, said he also has a history of mental illness and acted alone. So we're just going to, we have our reporter Richard Giacovis now, who is going to join us to speak a little bit more about some of these victims, including that NYPD officer. He's there getting ready again for our noon show. Hey, Richard, do you hear us?
We're still facing.
Can you hear him? She's trying to talk to him now. Can you just...
Yeah.
Hey, Richard, do you hear us here? Maybe. He's getting ready. Again, he's going to have a lot more details about the...
Get his attention now because we're ready to go.
All right, we're ready.
those who were killed. Hey, Richard.
Can you... yeah. Can you cue him and just Morgan saying, "Hey, Richard"?
Hey, Richard, do you hear me? Hey, Richard.
Okay, good.
Who was a mentor to other young men in this community, imploring them to join the NYPD, New York's finest, as traffic agents because he said being a patrol officer was too risky and could not be safe. For him, he wasn't necessarily on duty when his life was taken, but he was wearing the uniform last night while providing security for that building. And we have been reporting this, and we're learning today again that his wife, who lives in the house behind us here, is 8 months pregnant. She was due to give birth to her 3rd child next month. He also leaves behind those 2 children. One of them described as either 8 or 9 years old, the other one 4 years old. And neighbors had described the cries, the wailing from inside that home last night after they learned the news. We're also hearing today that Officer Islam's father, who heard the news, he was an only child to his 2 parents, and when his father heard the news that his son's life was taken last night, he had a stroke and was taken to the hospital and is today in critical condition as this community just begins the process of mourning. We are now waiting on if there will be a dignified transfer at some point today for the body of Officer Islam, if that will come through this neighborhood here in the Parkchester section of the Bronx, a largely Bangladeshi neighborhood, tight-knit. They all know one another. They mourn with each other, and that is what is so heartbreaking when you're in a community and someone is such a fixture in this community. Officer Islam came here with a dream, the American dream, to build a better life for himself, to bring his family and give them a better life, to raise his 2 children with a 3rd one on the way. And what he wanted to do was join New York's finest. He was a 3.5-year veteran, spending much of that time in the 47th precinct here in the Bronx before his life was tragically cut short. He was an immigrant too from Bangladesh. Again, just another man with an American dream who wanted to serve his community. He wanted to do whatever he could to make his community better, to make them proud of him, while at the same time imploring the young men and women in this community to join the police force, because to do what he did, serve the community, make them better. It is such a tragic loss. And today, his family mourns. We mourn with that family. And of course, we hope that we can bring you that dignified transfer if it so happens today and comes through this neighborhood here in the Parkchester section of the Bronx. Morgan, we'll send it back to you.
Devastating, especially, I mean, I can't imagine what his wife is going through right now. As Richard said, his wife is pregnant. They have 2 children. And as Richard just said, his father suffered a stroke and is now in critical condition. I can't imagine that pain that family is going through right now. Our hearts go out to their entire family and community. Just absolutely devastating. Richard mentioned, this gunman yesterday shot 4 people, including that NYPD officer who had been on the force for about 3.5 years. What we know right now is that Shane Tamura of Nevada, he double parked in Midtown yesterday at around 6:28 p.m. and had an M4 style rifle that he brought into the building, walked right in, and NYPD officials say he entered the lobby and immediately shot Officer Islam and then shot a woman nearby before heading into the elevator. Tamura continued to the upper floors where he shot a security guard and another man. He then took the elevator to the 33rd floor where he shot and killed one more person before fatally shooting himself in the chest, according to police. Now, authorities say Tamura drove cross-country from Nevada and arrived in New York the same day of the shooting. He had a history of mental health issues, and investigators are still working to determine exactly why he targeted this location. According to Mayor Eric Adams this morning, it is because, according to the note that was left that Shane had in his pocket, according to Mayor Eric Adams, they believe that they were targeting the NFL headquarters, which are in that building. So we are going to have a lot more updates today at noon in our noon show. We're going to hear a lot more from our reporter Lisa Evers, who's going to really break down exactly what happened, that whole timeline, and what we're learning as the day continues, because again, this is still a preliminary investigation. There are going to be a lot more details as the day progresses. And then our reporter Richard Giacovis, he's going to really dive into the officer who was shot and killed yesterday, and his background, his family, as you heard, and some of the other victims. In total, there were 4 people killed yesterday in that horrific shooting. Governor Kathy Hochul has ordered all state flags to be flown at half-staff. Mayor Eric Adams has ordered all city flags to be at half-staff today. Governor Kathy Hochul also issuing this statement just a short time ago this morning. And here's what she said, quote, "Yesterday, New York lost 4 innocent lives in a horrific act of violence. Among them was NYPD officer Islam, a 3.5-year veteran who leaves behind a wife, 8 months pregnant, and 2 young sons. My heart is with his loved ones, his NYPD family, and every victim of this tragedy. The killer used an AR-15 style assault rifle, the same weapon of war used in mass shootings across America. New York has some of the strongest gun laws in the nation. We banned assault weapons. We strengthened our red flag law. We closed dangerous loopholes, but our laws only go so far when an AR-15 can be obtained in a state with weak gun laws and brought into New York York to commit mass murder. The time to act is now. The American people are tired of thoughts and prayers. They deserve action. Congress must summon the courage to stand up to the gun lobby and pass a national assault weapons ban before innocent lives are stolen. And that was from Governor Kathy Hochul. She issued that this morning, talking about the need to close what people call the iron pipeline, which is when, even though in New York you can't buy an AR-15 like that, especially in New York City, but you can buy that in other states and then bring that here. So this is what she's trying to call attention to today. She was not in New York City yesterday, or at least wasn't at any of the events. We're waiting to see if she'll do anything or be at any of the events today. Mayor Eric Adams, though, has been issuing statements and was right at the scene yesterday, updating New Yorkers. He also held that press conference with the police commissioner, Jessica Tisch, yesterday, and been speaking to reporters today just about giving updates about the situation. Democratic nominee for the mayoral election, Zoran Mamdani. He is currently in Uganda. He has been celebrating his honeymoon, his recent wedding in Uganda. He was born in Uganda, lived there, and moved to New York City when he was 7 years old and became a naturalized citizen in 2018. But he is now, according to his campaign or sources familiar, that he is on a flight from Uganda today, and he's supposed to be arriving back in New York City tomorrow. We're also waiting to kind of see what some of the other candidates kind of do today. Former Governor Andrew Cuomo, he doesn't have anything scheduled at this time. Curtis Lewa is, I believe, the Republican nominee for mayor, Curtis Lewa. He is currently talking about public safety in subways. I'm assuming that he will also be addressing this horrific tragedy today. And then also in the race is independent candidate Jim Walden. We're also waiting to kind of see if he'll say anything or put out a statement. So we're just, again, waiting to see exactly how things shape up today. We're going to take a quick break, I think, and readjust, and we will be back in just a moment. Thank you.
Step out. I'm not sure what the delay is on this.
Hey everyone, I'm Morgan Mackay. I'm here in the Fox 5 newsroom as we're getting ready for our noon show today. Obviously, the biggest news is that shooting that happened yesterday. Just absolutely tragic and horrific. So we're going to be breaking down exactly what happened, details of the 4 people who were killed, including that NYPD officer, and the other victims that were killed in all of this. And so some of the reaction that we're getting so far from some of the power players in New York. So we're going to just start off with exactly what we know right now. And so pulling up here, what we know right now is, according to Mayor Eric Adams, the shooter, 27-year-old Shane Tamura, drove from Las Vegas to New York City with a high-powered rifle that's been described as an AR-15 type of rifle. He walked into this building and opened fire. He killed 4 people, including 3 civilians, and that NYPD officer who was a 3-year veteran on the force, 3.5-year veteran, according to the NYPD. And he leaves behind a pregnant wife and 2 children. Just absolutely horrific. His family is just trying to grapple with that horrific tragedy yesterday. And so what we also know, according to the mayor, is that the shooter, Shane Tamura, he walked into the building and they believe he was targeting the NFL headquarters in this building because of a note that they found on Shane that seemed to imply that he according to Mayor Eric Adams this morning on our show, he said that the shooter blamed the NFL and CTE for his mental state, although he never played in the league. And he took about 6:28 p.m. The 911 call center started receiving calls about an active shooter. According to surveillance, the shooter, Shane, double parked his black BMW on Park Avenue between 51st and 52nd Streets, carrying an M4 rifle in his hand. The building's security camera footage shows the shooter entering the lobby, turning right, and immediately opening fire on that NYPD officer. He then shot a woman who took cover behind a pillar and then proceeded through the lobby, spraying it with gunfire. He made his way to the elevator bank where he shot a security guard who was taking cover behind the security desk. 1 additional man was also shot in the lobby. The shooter called the elevator, which opened in the lobby. A female exited that elevator and he allowed her to walk past him unharmed. He then went up to the 33rd floor and began to walk the floor, firing rounds as he was walking around, and a woman was struck and killed. Again, 4 people were killed, including that NYPD officer. The shooter then proceeded down a hallway and shot himself in the chest. We are expecting a lot more information from Mayor Eric Adams today and possibly the police commissioner. We're also hearing right now that there could be a vigil tonight that Mayor Eric Adams and others could be attending. So we're going to be keeping our eyes on that. Governor Kathy Hochul issuing a statement today condemning gun violence, but hasn't really been out yet that we've seen, at least yesterday and so far today. And we're waiting to see kind of more of what she does and says about this incident. She has ordered all flags to be at half staff, including Mayor Eric Adams. He's ordered all city flags to be at half staff today. And Governor Kathy Hochul, though, she issued this statement that really, I guess, talked about that what many Democrats call the iron pipeline, which is when you can buy an AR-15, for example, in a different state. You can't buy one here in New York City, obviously, but they can buy one in a different state and then travel with it. And so was talking today about closing that loophole. I'm going to read a part of her statement here. She said, quote, New York has some of the strongest gun laws in the nation. We banned assault weapons. We strengthened our red flag law. We closed dangerous loopholes, but our laws only go so far when an AR-15 can be obtained in a state with weak gun laws and brought into New York to commit mass murder. The time to act is now. The American people are tired of thoughts and prayers. They deserve action. Congress must summon the courage to stand up to the gun lobby and finally pass a national assault weapons ban before more innocent lives are stolen. That's coming from Governor Kathy Hochul today. She will likely talk about that a little bit more in an appearance she has a little later today. And we are just, again, kind of waiting for some more information about the family. Our reporter, Richard Giacovis, is going to give us all the details in our noon show about that NYPD officer who was tragically killed yesterday. Again, he has a pregnant wife and 2 kids that he left behind, and our hearts really go out for that family, just really struggling right now, dealing with all of this news. And we are also, our reporter, Lisa Evers, she's going to give us a full breakdown of the timeline, what we know about the shooter, and what we know about why he was targeting this building in particular, which, as we've said before, Mayor Eric Adams said this morning that was likely because it was the NFL headquarters. And then we're also just kind of waiting to see some more reaction from some of the candidates running for mayor. Obviously, this is just a horrific tragedy that really shocks New York City, especially when it comes to a shot NYPD officer. So we're trying to see exactly what some of these mayoral candidates have to say. We do know, according to sources familiar, that the Democratic nominee, Zohran Mamdani, he is on a plane coming back from Uganda. He was celebrating his wedding over in Uganda and honeymoon. He was born in Uganda but moved to New York City when he was 7 and became a naturalized citizen when he was 2018. So according to sources familiar, he is on a plane and will be arriving back in New York City tomorrow morning. So we're going to be hearing maybe more from him a little bit later. So we're going to toss things off to our noon live show. We're going to hear all of the latest about that horrific shooting. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day.